Good morning, everybody. I'm getting ready to make some biscuits and gravy in Iowa. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to fry up 4 or 5 pieces of bacon just to get the fat. While the bacon's cooking, I am going to stick the biscuits, just whatever biscuits you like to use. These are the Grand's Butter Tasting Buttermilk biscuits. Add them and they'll bake about 18 minutes. About when the biscuits are ready, the gravy will be ready. Doesn't really take a long time. It's pretty easy. I don't know why we don't do it more often, except that it is definitely not low carb. I can eat biscuits and gravy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love biscuits and gravy. I'm going to take a small either cup or bowl, and then I'm going to put some flour in it. I learned this from my mother-in-law, and this is how she did it. Or maybe it was my grandma, I don't know. So you want about a quarter cup, a little more than a quarter cup of butter, you want a little more than a quarter cup of flour in here. And then I'm going to put about the same amount of milk. Then you just whisk that up. After we cook the sausage in the bacon fat, we're going to add this to the sausage before we start adding the rest of the milk. I know I've seen people make gravy and they make it the traditional way where you put the flour directly in the fat. But this is the way I like to do it. I've been doing it this way forever and it works for me and the gravy tastes good, so keep doing it this way. Moving the bacon around to get the hottest part of the pan on all of them. And you don't want more grease than you have flour, because to make a traditional roux you want equal parts flour and fat. So kind of pay attention to how much bacon fat gets rendered out of this. There's no measurements because whatever fat gets rendered out of the bacon, that's what I use. And we don't like our bacon really crispy, so we want it done more than that, of course. Some lucky people will get this bacon on their plate. I don't really make bacon as part of the dish, just whatever I use to get the fat. I don't usually eat it myself unless I crumble it up in my gravy. I love bacon and bacon sandwiches, so don't think I don't like bacon. This is giving me a lot of fat, so I'll probably take some of that out. And you'll save your bacon fat. You can use it in green beans or something else that you want some bacon flavor. And like I said, I don't like burnt. Crispy bacon, so that is just about enough for us right there. To where all of it's changed color, but it's not turning black. I guess if I wanted to do something very selfish, I could put this in the fridge like this and then heat me up a bacon sandwich later. I've heard that my cousin Tracy puts beef stock in her gravy to make it taste like Bob Evans gravy, so you might try that sometime. So I took some of the bacon grease out of there because it was a lot. It rendered down quite a bit. This was Jimmy Dean's bacon. I've not used it before. I don't think. I usually do Oscar Mayer or Great Value, or Farmland is really good too. But this one was on sale yesterday. I'm only using half a package of just regular breakfast sausage. Save the other half for something else. Put it in my spaghetti sauce or something. If I was making this for more than just the 4 of us, I might use the whole thing. And also use more of all the other ingredients. So like I said, this is not a recipe that you can really use measurements on, because it just depends on how many you're cooking for. I'm cooking for 4 people, and this will be just about the right amount of gravy for everybody. So I'm using a 1/4 cup of fat and a 1/4 cup of flour and a 1/4 cup of milk to begin with, and then I'll add more milk to loosen it up. I didn't set a timer on the biscuits, but I think the package says 18 minutes, but usually by the time I get the gravy done, the biscuits are done. So I'll check on them when it gets close to the time for the gravy being finished. You want to break this down into smaller pieces. Just depends on how chunky you like yours. Get all the burnt pieces off the bottom because that's the flavor in there. Okay. This is the mixture I made with the flour and the milk. And I'm going to just, whoops, hold on. I see a little pink in my sausage. You want to make sure all the pink is gone. Pour all of that goodness in there. Make sure you get all the flour that's down in there. And what you're going to do is let that thicken up really good and get the cooked taste out of it because you don't want it to taste like raw flour, of course. You're going to see the oil in there in the beginning, and then it's going to start mixing it all together and incorporating it all together. Now we're going to start adding the milk in. It's not going at the beginning. You can hear smudge in here trying to see what I've got going on the stove. You want to stir it pretty consistently because you don't want the milk scalding on the bottom. You want to get all the big chunks and lumps mixed out of it. I love this whisk. I got it from Pampered Chef. It is great for making gravies and things like that. So once it starts thickening up again, you'll just add a little bit more milk until it gets to the consistency you want it. The stove has to be hot enough for you to get boiling because it won't thicken if it doesn't boil. But you don't want it too hot where it's scalding the milk. And again, it just depends on how thick you like your gravy. We like to be able to pour ours over our biscuits. Some people like it really thick. Pretty much all taste the same. after you get it about where you like it, then I season my stuff. So I put seasoning, salt, pepper, and garlic. That's all I put in this. It's boiling pretty good, so I'm going to turn it down to low just to keep it warm until I make sure the biscuits are done. More pepper than that. We like pepper. So it's like a black pepper sausage gravy. Not too much garlic, just enough to taste a little bit. Add just a touch more milk, not too much, because it's just about perfect. That's it for the gravy, folks. Once I get the biscuits out of the oven, I will show you what it all looks like put together. The biscuits are all done. They were done as soon as the gravy was done. Just take that, put it over the top. And there you go, folks. Hope you enjoy this recipe.